Jessie here. I'm back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be going over week 3 in my January budget. If you've been watching my budgeting series, you know that I budget paycheck to paycheck. So I look at all of the bills, all of the expenses during the week that we get paid only. I'm not looking at the month overall. I'm not worrying about next week's bills. I am taking the money that we earned in our paycheck this week, as well as anything that we rolled over from last week and any other income that we brought in. I'm adding it all together to get a total, and then I'm subtracting all of our expenses that come in through the week. There's a hair, sorry you guys. And that is essentially how I budget. I just go paycheck to paycheck. So this is not all of my expenses that you're going to see today. It's just the expenses we're taking care of this week. So in order to try to condense this video, make it a little bit less long, because my budgeting videos have been 45 minutes long and I'd really like to get them down closer to 30. I've already written everything out for the week. I'm just going to go over it really quickly, and that way hopefully it won't go on quite as long. Let me know what is more interesting to you guys. Do you guys like seeing the actual budget being broken down? Or are you more interested in the cash envelope stuffing, or what? What is it about these videos that you guys like? Because I've been getting a ton of feedback. You guys love these videos. I've been loving hearing from you guys, talking about how I inspired you to start budgeting or to start saving or whatever. So let me know down below what is the most interesting part for you. And whatever the consensus is, that's the part I will focus on. I thought about doing the budget in one video and then the envelope stuffing in a separate video, but right now I'm only posting 4 to 5 videos a week, and if 2 of those videos are budgeting videos, I feel like it's just not going to be very well rounded for my channel. So let's go ahead and get into this. I am in my Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. I have the printable version. I just print out the pages that I need. I use my arc punch to punch them and put them right into my Happy Planner. This is the big Happy Planner. This is the one I'm using with this cover. I have the expandable rings, and that is how I keep my budget workbook all together. So let me zoom you guys in. We'll talk about what the total is that we're working with and what our bills are for the week. Alright you guys, so this is the paycheck for January 21st. We actually got this paycheck a day late because of the bank holiday, and so I'm actually filming this on Thursday. Typically I write out my budget and get an idea of what we're going to do on Monday. I get the cash on Tuesday and I film either Tuesday night or Wednesday. So I'm a day behind. I really would like to get this video up today. I don't know if that might be pushing it. These are very intricate videos to film and edit and all that. So the amount that we're working with this week is $14.25. That comes from multiple sources, and I sort of wrote it out here to give you guys an idea. So obviously this includes our paycheck number 3. This includes YouTube income. I don't get a YouTube paycheck every month. The way that YouTube pays out is you have to meet a threshold of $100 before they will pay, and I just don't bring in $100 every month. So I'm typically getting paid from YouTube every like 2 to 3 months. It's a very small amount. You know, it's definitely not like a career by any means, but it's a little bit and it helps. This is also including any rollover that we had from last week. After we paid all our bills and took care of all of our expenses, anything we had left over, we roll over into the next week, because my husband is paid on a commission. His paychecks are not super consistent. So we try to always have a little bit of money left over to make sure that we can stay afloat the next week. And then this is also any miscellaneous income. So this is something like if we have credit card rewards. We do use credit cards. Some of which we use and pay off every month. Others we carry a balance on and are focusing on trying to pay down this year. This is if we make any sort of returns. If we, bought something, we return it. That gets put into our miscellaneous income. If I babysit, or if we pick up any other sort of money for whatever reason. If we won the lottery, that would go into miscellaneous. So the amount we are working with this week is $14.25. That's also rounded a little bit. I round up on our expenses and down on our income, and that's another way that I make sure that we are going to make it with inconsistent income. So yeah, that's a look at what we're working with this week. These are the bills we're paying this week: car insurance, motorcycle insurance. My husband does have a motorcycle. It's completely paid for, so we're not making payments on it. It's ours full and clear, but we do obviously have to pay to insure it. That's Walmart. That's my husband's Lowe's card. We did a remodeling project on our kitchen in 2019, and so we are working on paying that down. That is our electricity. And this is, looking at this now, this is wrong because I wrote $75 for our electric bill. I wish it was that much. It's $175. So actually these totals are not going to be right. See, this is why you don't ever rush when you're budgeting, because you make mistakes like that, and now I have to come up with an extra $100. Luckily, I have it in my little rollover category, but we're going to have to redo this math. So it's a good thing that I did this video. Otherwise, at the end of the week, I would have been going, why am I $100 short? Anyway, that's also our gas bill that's due this week. Groceries, gas, and household all go up here in my bills section because I'm not pulling that out in cash. When I pull out cash, that's down here in my cash envelope section. But that stays in my bank and we pay it with our debit card, so I just include it in bills for that reason. I'm going to go ahead off camera really quickly and add all this up and get my new totals so that I can make sure that everything is good there. So yeah, just as I suspected, I definitely added that all up wrong, and we have an extra $100 on our bill total. That is a really huge mistake, and when you are doing zero-based budgeting like I am, that could really make or break your budget for the week. So make sure, don't be like me, make sure you are going through everything 2 and 3 times, double check your numbers so that you don't end up doing that like I just did. Luckily, like I said, we round down our income, we round up our bills, so I have the money to cover it. But if you're doing an exact budget, that could really kill you for the week. So just be careful when you are crunching the numbers. If you're really bad at math like I am, make sure you get somebody to maybe double check you or just go over your numbers again. That leaves us with $563 left over to do everything else with. So that is our bills for the week. Now we're going to move into our cash envelopes. This is the money that we use in cash every week. And this is money that we don't necessarily keep track of on paper. So we stuff our cash envelopes with each of the categories that we want to have cash for. And then we just spend it as we see fit. And when that money's gone, it's gone. So, if we have $40 for eating out, and we spend $40 eating out, then we can't eat out anymore until the next week when we restuff the envelope. I hope that makes sense. So we have $563 to work with, and I pulled out $130 for my envelope total this week. We were pulling out $60 for eating out, and we were just finding that it was too much. We were going out to eat too much because we had the money. Why not spend it? $60 will get us 2 meals out a week, and that's just excessive. So we cut it down to 40. We'll see how that goes. We may put it up again if we have like a fancy date night out that we want to take, or if we know that we're going to be busy and we need to eat out twice. But for now, $40 for this week. So $563 is what we had remaining. So we're going to take $563 and subtract that $130, and that leaves us with $433 to take to our next category. And then we just double check that because we don't want any more mistakes. Yep, $433. So then up here, we're talking about my sinking funds. So if you're not familiar with sinking funds, they're just little mini savings goals, essentially. These are all things that we know are going to come up throughout the year, but are not necessarily weekly or even monthly expenses. So, for example, our Amazon Prime is an annual subscription, so we know we pay that once a year. So rather than waiting until it's due and then having to pull that money out of our weekly budget, we just save a little bit throughout the weeks, and that way we have it when it comes due. And it's same with all of these other things. So we're going to pull out a total of $260 for our sinking funds. I'm going to, again, just double check my math here because now I'm paranoid that I made more mistakes. $260. Okay, so you guys can see here, $170 is left over. So we are getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Next up is the extra debt category. We are, like I said at the beginning, working on paying down some credit cards, and so our snowball is essentially what we can afford to pay extra to our credit cards. And this week it's $54. We paid off a credit card, so I took that minimum payment that we were paying every month and added it to what we already were paying every week. And that gives us $54 a week, so that's excellent. You know, it slowly builds up as you pay off more and more debt. So we take that 170, we subtract that 54, that leaves us with 116 left over. Then we go to our extra savings. You guys know I am currently working on saving with the Budget Mom savings course, which I will link down below if you guys are interested in that. It's just a fun way to save money. I'm also doing the Save Appellee, which is another super fun way to save money. And that gives us $42 in savings this week. So we're going to take that 116 that we had left. We're going to subtract the $42, and that leaves us with $74 for our rollover category, and that essentially takes up the rest of our income for the week, which leaves us with a zero-based budget. So I went through this really quickly. I know I didn't get into as deep of an explanation on everything because I'm trying to keep these videos short. But if you've seen any of my other budgeting videos, it's pretty much the same thing every week. Our sinking funds might change week to week. We may not always save for this many. Considering we have so little to roll over this week, $74, if my paycheck, or I'm sorry, if my husband's paycheck next week is a little bit lower and we don't have as much to work with, we may only save for one category. It just depends on the income that week, but this week we're saving for quite a few. I do my sinking funds in cash. I pull them out, I separate the money into my little accordion folder here, which I'm zoomed way in so you guys can't see. There we go. I separate it into my little accordion folder, and we just save it week to week until these expenses come up, and then we have the cash to pay for them. This goes right into my home safe so that, you know, it's safe. It's not just laying around my house. And that's essentially how I do it. So let's go ahead and get into the sinking funds. I have already pulled out my cash. I went through, I did my budget breakdown, which I've gone over in previous videos. If you guys care to see that, I will link those videos down below. But essentially I just go through the total that we want for each category, and then I break it down by denomination. I also wrote myself a little note here. We took $10 out of our school expenses fund, but we, rather than go in and get the cash, we actually just used our debit card. And so rather than putting in the $25 in school expenses like I typically would, I just put in $15 this week to make up that $10 that we spent on tickets for an after-school activity for my son. Hopefully that makes sense. So let me go ahead and switch gears a little bit, pull out my cash, and we'll go through and stuff my cash envelopes. This is my favorite part. All right, you guys, so here is all of the cash. This is the little cash slip that I sent with my husband so that he knew exactly which denominations to take out of the bank. He actually just hands this right to the bank teller. She really appreciates it, makes it super easy for her. And so this is all of the cash that we needed to fund our cash envelopes, our sinking funds, and our savings. $432 this week. And now we're just going to go ahead and stuff the cash envelopes. So the first envelopes I'm going to stuff are the ones in my wallet. This is my wallet. And these are my little cash envelopes that I keep in my wallet for all of our typical spending. So I have eating out, which you can see does have some cash left. We have miscellaneous, which also has some cash left. Was not a big spending week this past week. And I have my personal spending, which again has some cash left. So typically what I do is if we have money left over in these envelopes, I pull it out. I have a little section in our sinking fund accordion folder here that's just labeled extra, and we save anything extra and we just put it towards whatever we want. So maybe we want to send extra to a credit card, or maybe we just want to have a nice fun night out, whatever. However, my spending money I'm going to roll over. I have some purchases that I want to make. So I'm going to keep that and stuff an additional 20. We're going to do miscellaneous. We will go ahead and put into extra because I don't have a plan for that right now. And eating out, because we gave ourselves a little bit less this week, we're just going to go ahead and roll over this $10, $13. That way, if we decide we want to go for a fancier meal or whatever, we can. So I'm going to roll over the amount in my eating out and spending envelopes, and we are going to stick this $20 from the miscellaneous envelope aside and put that into our extra savings category. So what did I pull out here for our cash envelopes? So the other kind of cash envelope that we have outside of this is my husband's spending. He doesn't use a pretty fancy envelope like this. He just sticks it in his wallet, and I've actually already given him that. So he got $50 for his spending money this week. I am going to take a 20 for my spending and just add that to the 20 that's already in there. So now I have 40. Miscellaneous is going to get a $20 bill. And that's just for any miscellaneous spending that we have, hence the name miscellaneous. And eating out is going to get 40 this week. So that I chose to take two 20s. And I'm just referring to my planner, which is off to the side, to figure out the denominations that I set aside. So that will go into our eating out. And that takes care of our cash envelopes. Now we can move into our accordion folder, our sinking funds. So what do I love about this accordion folder? I love that I can have all of my categories in here. I love that it stands up, so it makes it super easy to go through and do what I have to do and not worry about it falling over and constantly having to adjust it. And in here, I just have all of my various categories on little labels from my label maker, and the cash just sits right down in there with a little index card where we keep track of our money. So while we don't keep track of the money that goes into our weekly sinking funds, because this money is getting filtered through every week, we do keep track of our sinking funds because this is being saved for a longer period of time, and we want to make sure that we are meeting our goals and we're making sure that we're not losing track of our money. So the first thing that we're going to save for here is our January savings, and that is here in my little monthly savings challenge category. I'm sure you guys can't see this, but I just have my monthly cash envelopes. I have January. I also have February in here waiting in the wings for when we do February savings challenges. And I have March. Eventually I will have one of these for every month of the year. Anyways, the point is here, we are saving an additional $12 this week. And I took a 10 and 2 ones for that. So we'll just go through here and pull that out. and add that to our total. And I'm just going to make sure that I write that we added that. What is the date today? Alexa, what's the date? 23rd. So we added $12. And that puts us at $53 saved. So far, my total savings goal is $58. So we got one more week, one more paycheck this week to add, and then we will have the full $58 for my January savings goal, which is exciting. So that'll go back here into my accordion folder. Next up is Appellee. So for Appellee this week, I got doubles. So basically what Appellee is it's sort of like Monopoly. There's a little board, little game board that you can download and print, and all around the edges there is property, and each property is worth an amount. So the way that I have chosen to do it is if I roll doubles, I just pay double the amount that I landed on. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's how I do it. So for my Appellee category, I currently have $146. Can you guys see this? There you go. And I'm going to add an additional $30. So I landed on a spot that was worth 15 and I doubled it to make it 30. So we'll do a 20 and a 10, which I have here. We will add that to our envelope. And I will also mark that I added it. And that should give us with a total of 176. So let me just count this out really quick. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. So $176 for Appellee. So I just stick this right back behind the Appellee category, and then we move on. So next up is Amazon Prime. Our Amazon Prime membership is due in March, I believe. We currently have $39. We are adding an additional 20 today. So we should have 59. And I just like to kind of keep all of the cash in order when possible. Sometimes I get lazy and just throw it in there and have to rearrange it later, but 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, $59 in Amazon Prime. Next up, we have our anniversary. Our anniversary is the end of March, and we are going to add $20 here as well. And this is just so we can go out to have a nice dinner. Nothing super extravagant planned for our anniversary this year. Next year, we might try to go away for a weekend or something, but this year it's just dinner. So this says we should have $70, 20, 40, 60, 70. All right, next up we have our campground. If you guys are not familiar, you haven't been watching my videos, my husband and I own a camper that we keep on a campground annually. We pay an annual fee for that, so we're saving for that. This week we are going to add 60, so a 50 and a 10. Just going to write really quickly here. So that should bring us up to $300. $60, $80, $100, $20, $40, $60, $80, $200, $20, $40, $60, $80, $300. So there's that. Next up is Christmas and gifts. Everybody knows that Christmas comes every year on December 25th, so you should be saving for it now if you can. We are going to add another $30 this week, and that should bring us up to $150. So a 20 and a 10. Let's just organize this. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we have $150 saved towards Christmas, and we're not even done with January yet, so that's awesome. My Christmas goal is to save $1,000, so just chipping away slowly at that. All right, next up, we have car insurance. I want to eventually move away from paying our car insurance monthly and be able to pay it 6 months at a time, so that's what we are saving for. We're adding another $50 to that. So far we have saved $100. This is a fund that I just recently started, but it will slowly add up as time progresses. And we just renewed our insurance, so we essentially have 6 months to come up with that cash. Next up is car tags and maintenance. So in addition to car insurance, you have to renew your car tags every year. You have to get oil changes. If you blow a tire, you got to pay for that. So we set aside a little bit of money every week, or, whenever we can, not necessarily every week. But we save a little bit towards that so that we have that money when we need it. We're saving $25 this week. So let's just go ahead and add this up. Hopefully we will make time to get an oil change this week, because that is something that we need to do. So you guys may see this amount go down next week when I do this. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 100, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 114. In our car tags and maintenance fund. All right. Haircuts. We are going to add $10 to our haircuts fund. That's another thing that we need to do here soon, because my boys are looking a little scraggly, but we're just going to add $10, and that should give us a total of $60. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So, excellent. Next up, we have holidays. So these are the major holidays that we, that are not Christmas, rather. So we are going to add $10 to our holiday fund. This is another one that I just started and we haven't been adding to super consistently, but we have $30 towards the next holiday. I've already completed my Valentine's Day shopping, so now we are saving for Easter. All right, school expenses. That is for anything we need for actual school expenses, but it's also for after-school activities. We've used this fund a few times now, and it's working out great. So we're going to add 15 because, like I said, we spent 10 of it this week on tickets for something for my son. So rather than, pulling the cash out, depositing it in the bank, and then making the purchase, we just put a little bit less in this week to cover it. So we're going to add 15, and that's going to give us, should be $70. 20, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Excellent. So that will pay for our back to school shopping. It'll pay if the kids need new shoes or a new backpack or whatever. Next up, we have our vacation savings. And this is not for like a vacation getaway. This is for if we want to spend money when we do like our camping trips and whatnot. So we're not saving a huge amount of money towards this. It's just, you know, a little bit at a time. Since we don't have like a vacation getaway. And that's 20, 40, 60, 80. And that was actually the last of my sinking funds that we are going to stuff this week. There are others that we didn't cover, but we're just not adding money to those this week. The only other thing that I do have is this extra $20 here that we pulled out of our miscellaneous fund, and I'm just going to stick that in the extra category, which we did drain to use for something I can't even remember, but we're back to 0 on that one, so we will just say that we added 20 and our new total is 20 because we spent everything that was in there. So that is it. I'm going to go ahead and put everything away and we'll come back and say goodbye. But yeah, that's it for my weekly budget. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you got something out of it. These videos are a bear to film. It's a lot of setup. It's a lot of me trying to do math on camera, which is not a great thing. It's me making mistakes in my budget, and it's me being really vulnerable with how we spend our money. But you guys seem to really like these videos, so since you really like them, I'm gonna keep doing them until you tell me to stop. Or until it just becomes too much of a hassle. But right now it's fine. I'm really enjoying sharing with you guys. I hope that you find this helpful. I will see you guys next time. Bye!